Okay. Hey guys, Pierre, Chris on the other end.
Hey.
The intro that you guys are about to hear is in Afrikaans. This is about Severance, just so y'all know. Yeah. Please stay, don't go. So, I came up with this rule a few months ago when I went to Costa Rica that wherever we go that's outside of the US, when we come back, the intro of the podcast needs to be in that language for at least one episode. So, we were in Cape Town. We got to wrestle some sharks and abseil the Table Mountain and what else did we do, Christian? Hella shit. But anyway, let's do it. Are you ready? Christian, you're ready. I've been practicing for hours.
Alright, listen, dude, I will boo you. Okay.
It is what it is.
So
okay.
It's gonna be good.
Alright, let's go. Hallo, welkom by die podcast. Ons is Storyolysis. Ek is Pierre, saam met my goeie vriend Chris, en vandag begin ons 'n nuwe reeks, Severance, which translates to hello, welcome to the podcast. We are Storyolysis. I'm Pierre, joined by my good friend Chris, and today we'll be starting a new series, Severance. I hope I didn't butcher this, but
how many people do you think clicked off by now?
I know, right? Oh, everybody just dropped off. What is this? But anyway, Christian, Severance. Yes, let's get into it.
Where First do we 3 episodes. Even begin with this one, dude? Where do we even begin? Well, first of all, actually, let's begin with this. Thank you. This seems like something. I mean, I'm already hooked. I'm already intrigued. I'm very interested in what's going on here. This feels like a very serious show.
Yeah,
and I love that. I'm already getting the sense that there's a lot of clues that have been dropped that I maybe picked up on some, maybe I haven't, probably missed a bunch, but this is my vibe so far. I love shows like this. They start you off, it's mysterious, and then they slowly give you information. I love it.
Yep,
I'm here for it.
No,
it's this concept. It's like it feels like it approaches horror show vibes at some points, but then it like levels it out a little bit. Let's go a little bit more sequentially, and then I can talk about how they're doing some really cool stuff with this.
No, Christian, I've been a strong advocate for Apple TV for so long now. Like at this point, I'm convinced that like Apple TV put its writers through like a rigorous vetting process. Like,
well, I wouldn't attribute all of it to Apple TV. they're just the collectors, right? Because I saw the director of this was Ben
Yes, a comedian. I know.
Yeah.
No, but sure, you still got to give the platform credit for maintaining a standard. Like
that's true.
I've watched over 10 like Apple TV shows like so far, and they've all been like. And again, I'm not knocking down other like platforms like Netflix, Hulu. Like those have great shows too, but those are like littered with hit or miss TV shows. But Apple TV has been hitting the bullseye. Like, dude, it's not because I'm picky of the stuff that I watch, unfortunately, and it's just been. Like, okay, you're not as crazy of a Apple TV connoisseur as I am, I guess, because that's all I watch. Like, to take you to just a few, like, of course, like, we cannot mention, like, the catalyst to this whole thing, Ted Lasso, a feel-good show that tackles dealing with losses. Like, like, with Jason Momoa, the second TV show, like, one of my favorite TV shows. Like, what a crazy concept. Like, humanity has been plagued by a virus that has left everyone devoid of their sight. Like, nobody can see. Yet, they've managed to evolve and progress without it. And then they introduce 2 characters who can see, but who are at a disadvantage because of their sight. Like defending Jacob, parents. Like, what are parents supposed to always be in the same page when it comes to protecting your kid? And then the writers, again, of defending Jacob, get in between that. Something crazy has happened. One parent is in complete denial. There's no way my son can do this. Another parent, slowly analyzing the evidence, stacking against their son. It's just, no, Apple TV is just I've been in awe at everything I've watched. Some have been literary adaptations, of course. You got to give props to the actual book writers. But when it comes to Apple TV employing writers to bring things to life in a way that's just beautifully done with amazing storytelling, a great plot, I got to give that platform, that network, credit for that. But of course, man, let's start with freaking episode 1, Christian. What do you think so far?
Just episode 1, or just like?
I mean, we're doing 1, 2, 3, right? Sure. Yeah, we're doing them by threes.
Okay. So I'll just say what I think in general so far. So far, it's wonderfully confusing. Well, no. It's not even confusing. It's wonderfully mysterious. There's things that happen that are just very off-putting, but it doesn't feel like it's the end of the world. It doesn't feel like we're in a dystopian future, dystopian society. We might be. I don't know. But it doesn't feel like we are. Mm-hmm. And because it's like, it feels like the intensity ramps up, but it doesn't ramp up too much yet. Like, it ramps up and then it mellows out. and then it dips back down a little bit, maybe with some comedy, and then it ramps up, and then it mellows out, and then it dips back down. And it feels like it keeps ramping up higher and higher each time. And I'm getting the sense that we're going to ramp up really high at one point.
Yeah.
But I'm just excited each time we hit these peaks. Even like on the rise at the peak and then on the decline, I'm here the entire way, and I'm paying attention, and I'm hooked. I'm captivated by this world, because it feels like there's concepts happening, like when they're typing on the keyboard, and they're looking out for numbers that scare them, like
that
what?
Evoke emotional.
What the fuck is that?
To your refiner, yeah.
And then Petey, of course, he says like he alludes to the fact that what if I told you you're killing people? So immediately they didn't confirm this yet, right? This is just me thinking that I'm assuming that these numbers that stand out, that those are people, and every time you throw them in the bin, you're killing them. But I don't know the context of that. I don't know. And the one thing, because this is like episode 3, the most recent, so it's standing out. When Petey drew the map, I paused it. I looked at it.
Mind.
Like when, it said mind. So I'm like, okay, is each department like some component of this bigger mind that's being created? But then I don't know. It's weird. It's fucking weird. And like just there's one other thing too. Like in the beginning, this is like one of the peaks and then the declines I'm talking about. And when I say decline, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying it as in like the intensity ramping up and then dialing back down. Yeah. In the beginning, the very first couple minutes, it feels very horror-ish. It feels very frightening. Like, oh, she's in the middle of a room, and this voice is barking questions at her. And then this guy opens the door, and his face is shaded, and it's like, oh, is she part of some experiment? Right? Is she being drugged? What's going on here? And then they take you back to this very goofy main protagonist. I mean, sometimes he's goofy, the main protagonist. And he's like, we see that he's stumbling around. It's not as, Mark. Like, it's not like this refined, robotic entity behind the microphone. It's just some guy who's trying to read his lines correctly. And it's like, like they made it intense, and then they're like, oh, but this is really what happened. And they keep doing that, but they keep upping the intensity, and it's very interesting. I love it.
Yes. I love when shows do that. There's because like
episode 1 is like shows do that. This feels very unique.
That's the thing. I say I love when shows do that. Again, Christian, I just told you I've been watching Apple TV, so.
But conceptually, what's happening though, like with the plot, it feels like it's. I mean, because I'm talking specifically about like the ups and downs, but I don't know. Maybe it did happen in other shows too.
Oh no, dude, Billions. Well, again, that's my take. Like Billions was extremely climactic. There was like some lows, but then back to highs. But that's just me, because Billions is my favorite TV show of all time. That's all good. But yes, when I love when shows do that. When they, as of right now, there's a lot left to interpretation that you don't know about. I understand, but giving us that episode 1 of present, and then giving us that episode 2 to explain that present, I love when shows do that. When you fill in the gaps. Like, this woman woke up at a table. What is going on? Who is this woman? This interrogation that's happening. Basically, this, what is it when you first start in a job? Orientation questions. Like, what is all this? And then episode 2, they show you when she first came in. Like, one of the questions in orientation was, what is Mr. Egan's favorite breakfast? In episode 2, they show you as Milkshake's the black guy, who picks her up, LER, and say, oh, just so you know, Mr. Egan loved raw eggs and milk. So they're re-asking her to ensure that the procedure went well. That what procedure did she go under? They explain that. Give you a small explanation, but it makes sense, because it is what it is. Your perceptual chronologies are surgically split, separating memories between work life and personal life. So you're a blank canvas once you're severed. And through episode 1 through 3, we know why Mark is doing it. We know Mark's reason. He lost his wife, and that's helping him. Which his sister said, forgetting her for 8 hours is not really therapy, bro. Which is true.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they elaborate on that.
Which they will, Christian. They will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Because right now, the main thought in my head is, well, it's not like you're. It's like you blink, and then you're right back to where you were. So that's not really. I'm curious to see how they'll say it's helping.
That's not really helpful.
How they'll try to make him convince himself that it's helpful.
Right, but that's the thing. He's in such a deep dark, like, because we're doing like 1, 2, 3 right now. Again, whoa, clear disclosure. I've seen this. I've watched Severance before. I'm rewatching it. Christian, this is his first time watching it. This is the first time that this is happening, because normally you watch shit and that you're trying to not give out spoilers. This is what I'm doing right now. Okay,
with Dark Matter too.
Dark Matter, yes, Apple TV again, beautiful sci-fi. Yes. So okay. He's in such a deep hole. Like, what did we see in the first ever scene of Severance? This guy's crying before going to work. It's been years. He told Eliar, I too started like this on that table a few years ago. It's been years, Christian. This man still mourns his wife every morning, crying hard. Pete even mentioned in episode 2 or 3. Like, although we're severed, sometimes you come in the office with red eyes. We even had a song about it. Although you didn't know what you were crying about, because once you get in that elevator, it's just snap. You're a blank canvas. You still carried it inside with you. Isn't that sadness, that loss is so deep that this man is wholeheartedly convinced that they are helping. Why? Because he can't move on. Since he can't move on, he will choose losing time. That he's not thinking about her, that he's not crying about her daily, instead of seeing a freaking therapist and doing it the correct way, like his sister told him. This, I didn't spoil anything. Okay, that's good. Shit, I gotta, whatever I say, I gotta, I didn't spoil anything. That's great. Because, dude, I'm hyped.
Yeah, please be careful.
I'm trying to be reserved. I know, because, I can handle spoilers, but I know you can't. Yeah.
Because this show, it feels like the mystery is, everything. Right? Christian, if you don't have the mystery, then you don't have the show. So I want the mystery, please.
Christian, I'm jealous and excited at the same time. Jealous that you're seeing this for the first time. Like, your ignorance is so attractive right now, like, when it comes to Severance, because you don't know what's happening. You're just like, what is all this? Which is going to start making sense. At the same time, I'm excited because I'm picking up on clues that I didn't in the first watch.
Not bad. How long did it take you to pick up on the breakfast thing?
The breakfast thing? No, the first time that I watched it, I saw it. Because that's why she was asked it, to make sure that you actually don't remember what we just told you. Because if you do remember, then the surgery was not a success. Because we don't want gaps. We want you to be a blank canvas. But at the same time, she knew Delaware, which is crazy. And another thing, Christian, I want to mention. Oh, there's several things I want to mention from episode 1 through 3. I like her reaction. Like, I'm going to veer off a little bit. Anime fans, there's probably no anime fans here. That's one issue that I have with ReZero. That Subaru was just okay with the new setting. Okay, I'm going to bring it right back to Severance.
Well, I like remember, though, we did talk about why that was, though.
I understand. We did. That's true. We did. But I like that she is reacting the way anyone would. Throughout episode 1 through 3, this girl's trying to get out. And her initial questions were things that any normal human being would ask. Like, am I livestock? How do I not remember my past? I'm an adult. Like, did you guys grow me in here? Am I in hell? Is this purgatory? Why can't I leave? Like, and trying to... Yeah, go ahead.
That's another thing that I would like to see how they handle. It's like, because there's no way they don't do, like, their research on who they're going to do the procedure on and, like, hire as a candidate. So I wonder if these people clearly have their finger on the pulse when it comes to biotech. So I wonder, and I mean, to the point where they can read words if somebody ingests, like, a note. That's some crazy technology.
Yeah, the X-ray scanner in that elevator is top tier.
Yeah. So I wonder, like, naturally I'm thinking, would they know she's the more, like, rebellious type? Because she's very rebellious compared to... It seems like they are not... she seems like a bit of an outlier as far as... I don't know. I'm sure they're going to go more into the history, but as of right now, it seems like this is the kind of person they wouldn't want to hire because she's so rebellious.
Yes. When you say the kind of person she wouldn't want, I thought of Silo having kids. That's crazy. But regardless, that's something else. Yes, like rebellious outliers. I think they all started that way because they all allude to it. Like Mark said, just like you, I woke up on that table and I told the guy that I heard, I'm going to kill you. That guy became his best friend, Petey. Like, yeah, Irving in episode 3 said, just like you, I woke up on that table shapeless. Oof. Okay, before I get to that, can we just admire each character, how unique they all are? Like Mark, unfortunately Mark is like a pushover. And again, he has all the baggage just to even put him in that situation. Like,
who sorry, real quick, who is this actor? He looks so familiar, like I've seen him somewhere.
Seriously, you don't know who Homeboy is? Yeah, Homeboy's been on a ton of freaking shows. He's in Loot, actually.
Yeah.
That's another Apple TV series. Hilarious. Crazy concept, too. What rich people should actually do instead of pretending to help the poor. Yeah, Homeboy played in a lot of shows. A lot of movies, too. So let's see. You didn't even, like, Google him, Christian? You were just like...
Oh, I was just watching the show. I was
just watching the show. Step Brothers. Yes, he's in Step Brothers. Okay. He had, like, Wash Start abs in Step Brothers. He's in Madam Web. I didn't see Madam Web. Yeah, but Homeboy's in a bunch of stuff. Not popping up right now, but Hot Tub Time Machine 2. I don't think I saw in Hot Tub Time Machine 2. But yeah, he's doing a good job. Ghosted. I did see Ghosted. It's, yes, Petey, right? Petey's basically a pushover. And...
Oh, you mean
Cobel, Mark. Yeah, Mark. I don't know what I'm saying. Petey, yeah. Mark, correct. The main character. Well, there's more to him than that. In the first 3 episodes, he's just someone who doesn't have his life together, even at work. But again, that's not his fault. The guy's mourning, although he's not aware that he's mourning. He's a nice guy, like, and cobel. Oh my God, cobel, like, cobel, bro. You see how she treats him at work, Christian? Cobel is the manager of the severed floor. The old lady. Well, she's not old.
Wait.
The lady, Harmony.
Yeah, I was gonna say Harmony. Is Harmony just like a nickname, or?
No, that's her first name. Harmony Cobel is her name.
Okay.
Bro, when she threw the the mug at him and said, "What I just did for you is something I knew that you could handle and grow from." It's like, bro.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, this is another thing. This show, the way it's set up, it's almost like I'm expecting the higher ups and I'm expecting the management or the people who are leading this to be completely devoid of emotion. Like, it feels like I'm walking into this and I would expect them to be robotic. But then they have like these little moments that it's like little bits of personality. Like in that scene when she throws the mug, that's very like she was just getting pissed off. It felt like, and it and then also when the black guy, I forget what was his name again?
Milchick.
When he was reading the book that Mark's sister's husband gave him as a present, and he was just like giggling. It's like it feels these moments, and then also actually no, I don't have enough information about this guy to say it. The one who brought the girl to the
perpetuity wing.
No, the break room. Like that guy who's like he looks mean and he's walking around.
Yeah. That's a security guard. That's what's someone's name? Ragnar? Graner? Yeah. When I remember it, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just they feel like they're not completely robotic. They still feel like there's some humanity in there, which is just cool because it's not. It's giving me indications that this isn't. Nothing is black and white, even when it comes to the people who are leading this stuff. And let me just say this too: the council. I love that. I love
with the wellness center.
No, like when Mark was brought into the meeting with Harmony, and then she was like, "The council's going to be listening in," and the council was just quiet. I love that. And then when Natalie,
yes,
yeah, she was listening to the council, you could hear like the going on in her ears. So it's like I'm assuming there's actual people talking. That's the impression they're giving me, but I don't know. That could just be a recording. She could just be pretending. But I love the idea that there's this group of people that are listening, but it's quiet. So you don't really know if there's a group there or if it's just like an intimidation tactic. I love that. Love
Grainer. It. Yeah, his name's Grainer. Okay.
The security guard?
Yeah. Okay. It's
Oh, you know what? Okay, real quick. It just reminds me. There's this game. It's called Neir Automata. Oh shit, this is gonna be a spoiler. All right, spoiler. I know you're never gonna play it, but spoiler for anyone who might play it. In the game, the main protagonists are these two androids, and they're on Earth, and they're receiving orders from humanity, which is said to be on the moon. So every once in a while in the game, you'll get this recording of somebody saying, it sounds very robotic, and they're like, "Good job, androids. Your work is helping humanity prosper. Keep going," or something like that. And towards the end of the game, you find out that this whole time humanity died on the moon long ago. And the recordings just play on an interval. And these androids have been living their lives dedicated to this interval, believing that they're doing something for humanity, but it was just a recording the whole time.
Yeah, I've seen this. Not the game. I've watched movies with that concept. That it was never, there was never nothing else. Like, all that was for nothing. Like, you were fooled. But yeah.
Was that I Am Legend? Was that the similar concept?
No, I Am Legend is like zombies. People like actually trying to eat Will Smith.
I thought there was some like directive.
Believing in something that's actually not real. That's not an unfamiliar concept to TV shows or movies. Paradise, nah, that's different. Silo, no, that's different. That's actually the switcheroo of that. Severance. You're gonna get back. So notice too, Christian Cobel. Full disclaimer. Like, I have the most weirdest crush on this lady. It's insane,
dude. No, honestly, I get it.
The TV show. I don't know the person in real life. Like, her character.
I get it. I understand.
Mark, come on, like, bro. I'm like, Cobel, stop. Another thing too, since I'm on the topic of Cobel, she's Cobel on the inside. She's Mrs. Selvig on the outside.
Yeah.
But
they got plants. They got plants in the real world.
She's not severed.
Nope.
Meaning that's the same person. That's the same person that's able to display two different personalities. Even stories, the backstories are different to not enhance, to back up those personalities. What do I mean by that? On the inside, at work, she told Mark, my mother was an atheist. Bro. And then she gets to it. She gets closer to Mark and tell her, being an atheist is just good news and bad news. Good news, hell is just a product of a morbid human imagination. Bad news, whatever humans can imagine, they can usually create. Bro, just said chills down my bones. I was like, oh my God. And then on the outside, Minselvik, my mother was a Catholic. She believed in doing good. I'm going to bake you cookies. Like, they dress up her character with backstories to back up, like, her goodness on the outside and her cold heart on the inside so beautifully. And she embodied these two different characters. Like, when you see her on the outside, Mark wasn't even looking. At one scene in episode 2, I think, she's looking out the window, she's looking at Mark, and she's like, oh, Mark, what's going on, Mark? I wish I can help you. Mark wasn't even looking. No, maybe that was done for the camera to trick us, the viewers, but just the way she's able to be these two different people is just not. Cobel is a woman, Christian. Like, yo, ooh. And vocabulary? Oh my God, the vocabulary of the people in this show. Which is why another small reason why I love Billions. Just elevated vocabulary. Just, these are people that went to school, Christian. Like, when I tell you, devour feculence, which you're not going to get that now, it's a spoiler, but still.
No spoilers. This is a spoiler-free zone.
Oh my goodness. Like, she's like Irving when Irving took her to the perpetuity wing. Like, she starved for meaning here. Of course, you'd pervert our founder's message with jokes and impiety. Bro. Like when Milchick walked in on day 2 of Ellie, I'm agog of how well I can tell you're already fitting in. I'm like, Jesus. Like when Cobel, when Mark told her, I can't do shit, unfortunately, because petey was the person who used to run this, and unfortunately I can't. And she said, if he were the tone setter you're lionizing him as, it'd still be here. I've never heard the noun lion used as a verb, but also to mean exactly what I know she meant, but I've never heard it used in that way before. That's just a lion, a noun. But Homegirl just verbalized the noun lion. As in, this guy you're putting on a pedestal, as in he ran this shit better than you and he was him. Why isn't he here? Mm-hmm. And the visuals they've already given us, episode 1 or 2, Petey let Mark, no, that was episode 2 when he skipped work. Petey let Mark listen to the recording of the torture that he's undergone. And episode 3 to show us Heliar going through that. It's like, which sounds like, doesn't sound harmful at all. You're just repeating words. But we also see Milchick. Milchick slowly like increasing some volume. We see the desperation in Ellie's voice each time. The last time she said, "Really?" It's like, bro.
Right. That's another perfect example of what I meant by like it seems like it should be like it's ramping up the intensity. Like that's a scene where they could have easily made it like, oh, she's going in there and she's getting tortured somehow. But it's like, no, not quite. We're not gonna go that far yet. We're just gonna, torture her a little bit, like with just making like repetition. That's what it seems like. But then also, there was the guy who is in the other wing that they hate, like the optic
design, OND.
Yeah, OND. Burt. And when Irving first met Burt, they were staring at a picture it's very clearly that's supposed to symbolize something. If you take it at face value, it's this image of this guy who's like a godly, kingly position, it seems like, based on his outfit and
whip a goat and some women.
Well, whip a sheep, I think, specifically. Okay. And the whole thing of like shepherds and sheep. Sheep are just followers of a pack. The shepherd guides them, and here it looked like a shepherd beating a sheep. That's how I'm taking it. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know what to make of the characters in the background because those were chosen characters. It was a jester, it looked like a nun, and then there was a woman. I don't know what's up with that, but when it comes to like the sheep shepherd thing, I was thinking that maybe these our crew would be like the sheep. And then somebody with the whip is acting as the shepherd. I don't know. I don't have enough information to... Yeah.
No, as of right now, this is how I was. It's so crazy. I had to downplay this. Do you remember when I told you about Severance? I was like, brace yourself. The first 2 to 3 episodes are slow.
Yeah,
but if you get
that's
past it, do you know
like,
why?
bro,
Yeah. This is.
I'm hooked.
I watched Severance years ago. I couldn't get anyone into Severance. I told 2 of my boys to watch it, and they're like, yeah. After episode 2, I dropped off. So for that reason, I got into this mindset of telling people, warning them, hey, just so you know, the first 2 to 3 is slow. Rewatching this now, I'm like, what the fuck have you been telling people? It's like,
I don't know, maybe it's just it's the people you were telling to watch this. Maybe they didn't.
Yeah. No. Even on my old job, guys were just like, I don't know, it's just too slow. I can get into it. So I got into the habit of telling people, brace yourself. If you can get past 2 and 3, I promise the rest is good. I'm like, nah, bro. Like, I'm rewatching this shit and I'm on the edge of my seat again since episode 1.
You know, to be fair, because I know you watch the show, I have more of a reason to trust that things are leading in a good direction than, you know, I guess if somebody went in completely blind.
Right. No, I understand.
Because if I assume this was being released on a weekly basis when it first came out.
Yeah. Still is. It just ended. Season 2 just ended, actually, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, and then I guess this also ties back to what I was saying with, like, these little peaks and dips. It's like the moments where I guess you'd be kind of trained with these kind of stories to expect things to take a left turn. They don't take a left turn, at least right away. Like what I was saying with the personality thing, and then also the break room. It's like these are things that many other shows would have immediately dialed up the intensity to 100% already. But this show, it's like they're doing it very slowly, and you have to. I don't even like using the word slowly because it sounds negative. They're being very careful. No. Like they have a vision, and they are confidently approaching that vision. So they don't mind taking things, I'll use the word slowly. They don't mind taking things a little bit slowly because they're so confident in their vision. That's what it feels like. And that can lose a lot of people when, of course, you don't share the same vision that they do. So you don't know if there's going to be a show that's worth watching. But I have you telling me that it's worth watching. So it's like I already have faith going into it that other people might not. Because I'm believing in their vision because I know you have seen the vision, basically.
Yeah, no.
Telling me that it's a beautiful sight. So
it's freaking sick. To me, it's sick, and it will be to you too when this shit starts unfolding. And we mentioned check and balance, that hierarchy. How there's a board that, and you can already tell cobel who's running over everyone that she wants to, because just again she's not abusing her, but she's throwing shit at Mark. She even told Ellie, if it was me, I would have pummeled Mark in episode 2 when she meets like Ellie.
And more personality. Yep.
Yes, but when it comes to the board, you saw that she got cut. Oh, I just wanted to say, oh no, we're done. The board is done. I'm just like, there's a hierarchy of command at Severance, and not just that, the way they keep them in check, Christian, when they're getting out of bounds. I'm talking like punishments aside. Like you're trying to leave, they send you to the break room to reread that shit. Like, look at different approaches. Irving, a character that I love. Irving lives and breathes lumen. He knows the history. Like, he loves Kier. He's here for purpose. You know, when he was on that table, he was shapeless, finding out that he works for a company who've been helping people since, I think, 1866, he said, or 1966.
That was his salvation.
Like, Irving has pride for lumen.
You know,
did you see what happened? Go ahead.
Well, there's one thing that really stood out to me during this whole scene that you're describing. They never showed a picture of a human face. Like, they never showed what people outside look like. They showed them the smiles, and then they showed statues, right? So it's like, especially for the current CEO, I'm curious why they're showing them statues and not like a portrait. And then even the painting in the room where Irving met the guy from OD, that's a painting. It's not like an actual picture of somebody. So I wonder what's going on there.
Yeah, no, it's a very good point, Gershon. All these things are, even Ellie was like, what the fuck, are we a dental company? It's like, you're showing me teeth. It's like, no, you don't get it. This is more grandiose than that. We're marking humanity in a positive light. No, they've brainwashed my boy. Wait, that's just some spoiler shit. We don't know. He worked at a good place and he loved his place. What I was talking about, keeping them in check. Like, there are measures put in place on how to deal with different people. And Severance does that very well. Irving, we know he loved the company. For that reason, whenever he's dozing off, we're not going to send him to the break room. We're going to send him to wellness. Why? We're going to remind him of how good his Audi is, remind him of the good work that he's doing, reinforce all of the things we've already put in his mind so he can come back stronger.
That was such an interesting scene.
Yes.
The way the woman was...
Yes.
It's like, please treat these with the same amount of enthusiasm as all the others.
And
I was
some of
like,
the
what?
some of the comments were just so hilarious. Your Audi is strong and helps someone lift a heavy object.
Yeah, it's like, what? Are you telling the truth?
Bro, right?
It's like,
Your Audi likes films and owns a machine that can play them. Bitch, we all have a DVD player. We all, like, I was like, but they don't know that, Christian, because they're blank canvases. Remember the orientation to ensure that nothing sipped through. You're basically a blank page, which is why when Ellie sat down, Milkshake said, "Hey guys, just so you know, this is how some hairstyle is supposed to look like." I don't remember what he said, and they all started laughing. Because they really are so easily malleable because they're just a blank brain. So these people are able to indoctrinate them how they want to.
yeah, you know, well, I also, because clearly they know how to speak, right?
Right.
Like they know words.
Yes.
So
there's a lot of questions.
The question, yeah. There are so many questions that naturally come from a story like this, but I like that they already starting
tackle
to,
some.
yeah, especially with that dinner. That was a weird dinner. That was a very weird dinner.
What is that? That's episode 1 or episode 2? Jesus, we're
That's
just
episode
jumping here.
1.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
Rickon. That's his sister's husband. I love Rickon. Oh my goodness, I love Rickon so much. Yeah, because the friends are all like, because ever since the death of his wife, right? His sister's been trying to get him back into the world, like to actually being back to having a life. His sister even set him up with a date an episode later. Yeah, but the dinner, everyone else is like trying to like bad talk Severance because they're actually making valid points, and they're asking questions that he doesn't even want to answer because he's just not in the mind state to be socializing right now. The man's mourning is elongated because he can't mourn at the right time. The man only mourns from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So for that reason, it's been 2 years. He's still mourning because he's severed most of his time. It's just, bro, that concept is so crazy. So his sister, although it's been 2 years, but for him, it's probably like a few weeks. No, for him, it's probably like a year because that's the only thing he can remember. He can remember a series of afternoons, like what I did last night, but that's it. But anywhere from like 9 to 6, he doesn't have that at all.
Yeah, and this is the idea, because it's so at the core, right? One of the dilemmas is you imprisoning yourself, which is
but what can drive you to imprison yourself, Christian? He has a very valid reason.
His reason, I need to know more about, because he did this before he tried therapy. It sounds like you said.
What do you mean?
Like,
yeah.
So it's like this is such an irreversible surgery.
That's literally what they said, irreversible. But we have living proof. PD's out there, Christian.
He's the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a true anomaly because he said like the condition he has. I forget what he called it.
Reintegration sickness. Yeah.
He said he's the first one to ever get it. So
in the way they're showing, because it's not supposed to be done, for that reason that procedure is rocky. I mean, reversing that procedure, and the way, like, you can see the headaches. Like, you're watching this, you're like, this man's in pain. Like, the way his reality is being distorted. Like, he's in the office. He's not in the office. At one point, like, they're both combined. He's showering, and then a lumen version of him wearing the suit with the lumen tag. It's just like,
yeah. Bro. The way I saw that was like he's living in the past and in the future when the shower scene came up.
He told Mark this somewhere in episode 2 or 3 too. Like, shit's all crazy in my head right now. Like, my
he feels
past,
disoriented.
Yes, my past is wrapped up with lumen in it. Just because they're both, it's like two consciousness actually that's merging into one. So for that reason, they're colliding not in a smooth way that they're supposed to. So for that reason, he's like blinking in and out of like lumen here, lumen there, and the mind, the body is not supposed to handle all that kind of shit. So my boy's bleeding. PD. Notice too, PD told Matt, not only we hate Grainer, but we both try to get out. As in, PD told Mark in episode 1 when they first met, we hate the security guard and we're both trying to get out. We were both trying to get out of that place. Like, we both handed out resignation letters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird to me that Mark doesn't remember that, because whenever he's clocking at Lumen, he's all happy. Yet LER is still trying constantly to get out. So does she get to a point where they wipe out her remembering that she's getting out, or does she just evolve and start liking the place again? Because the way PD described Mark to Mark, that's not the Mark we see at Lumen. Because PD said we're both trying to get out. We hate Grainer. We hate Grainer. I understand that. Obviously, whenever the guy shows up, like, Mark is squeamish because the dude is extremely intimidating. But regardless,
well, and also Because when they say break room, I assume that's a room where they're trying to break their spirits. So
Yeah.
Mark probably. Oh no, Petey left very recently, right? It was like a week or two.
Yes.
So.
They just came to work and they're like, "Where's Petey? Petey's not here."
Because I was wondering, maybe he went in the break room one too many times, and so his rebelliousness is quelled because of that. But I don't know. I'm sure they have other methods of keeping them in check. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those methods were a little more potent.
Something to look at, well, not to look out for, but just it happened in freaking beginning of episode 2. As Milchick was about to start the procedure for Eliar, he told her, "When we heard you were coming here, it was like a miracle. It's amazing what you're doing."
Yeah, that also made me think of like, how are they vetting these people? Where are they coming from? And also, it sounds like this is something that I loved, that they did this. When Mark was at home watching TV, we heard a conversation with this on the news. It was very public. This was a very public platform. It was like NBC or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. And he said many things, but one of the things he said was other companies are starting to adopt this technology.
That is true.
So
that's true. Yeah, that's why there's a stand against it. Like, that's why, didn't you see the kid in the street that Mark was so upset? Because the thing is, Mark is prioritizing not having his pain, because I guess it's just that painful. Because we just saw just one glimpse of him mourning. I mean, we see it too passively at night as he's watching TV. We're like, this is someone who's just dying. It's like the depression is just insane. For that reason, he's not even thinking about any other side effects. Not even side effects. He's not thinking about anything else that might be like Rick said at the dinner. Morally, a bunch of other Ully just wrong. It was like, although your decision is controversial, ethically, morally, scientifically, but we stand behind you. He's not even looking at any of that. Mark just want the pain to stop. So for that reason, he even told PD, "I'm not going to unsever. I lost my wife, and they're helping me with that."
Yeah, honestly, if he was like suicidal before the surgery, where he was like contemplating, or maybe he was very close to committing suicide, but then he caught wind of the severance surgery, I could see that like being a reason as to why he bypassed therapy, because like he's already on his last legs as far as wanting to live. I mean, I could see this being the reason. I don't know if it is the reason. Yeah. And because he's suicidal, he's like, whatever, I don't care what happens to my brain. The fuck do I care? I was about to kill myself. Whatever, I'll try it. Who cares? Let's see. Yes. So I could see him going down that train of thought.
Also, another thing that I mentioned, right, the reinforcement that to keep them in check. When Mark, as they're doing the ball exercise, Mark mentioned, hey, what if PD's dead? I don't know what's happening to PD, which Milchick cut right away. And he tells Mark, things like death happen outside of here, not here.
Yeah, that was,
And the sound, that was the ominous sound in the background.
That was also very interesting.
A life of lumen is protected from such things. Just to be like, no, you're good. You're on a place. Like, Irving, bro. Oh, yeah. No, I just... They've built this ecosystem with so many different, contingency plans if shit's falling apart. Like, they keep drilling in their head, you're safe here. Even Dylan's theory, right? Like, you mentioned, like, what the fuck do you think we do here? I think it's just so bad up there that our Audis have decided, fuck it, put a chip inside my head and bring me down here, it is what it is. And I think what we're doing... Go ahead.
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. That scenario that he's describing, where it's like the end of the world and we have to live in underwater, I think that is like... When I was talking about earlier, sort of the expectations that we would be conditioned to have when it comes to a story like this. Yes. It's like, okay, the world is ending, right? That's the reason. But no, and then they even play into that a little bit by having him joke about it, which is like, that's cool because they're aware that is a very possible and admittedly interesting direction that the story could have gone, but they're like, no, we have a vision, we have a story that's in mind that is not that. And we're going to acknowledge that it's not that, but then we're still going to go down our path that we want to go down.
But even that too is a result of conditioning, as in to drill in your head that you're here to do something purposeful. So your mind starts to wonder, okay, what the hell would make me, Pierre, want to freaking go down somewhere where I have no memory if I have a wife, myself. If I'm heterosexual, if I'm gay, if I have no memory at all, I don't even know. Because of course I'd be like, okay, if I'm doing something good, it must be so bad that they need me to save the planet. Or he said, Irving thinks, we're taking out swear words from movies. Just they've managed to freaking shell these guys, and we got L.E.R. It was freaking everyone's spirit animal. Like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. It's like this, this is so cultish. Like, if you really think about it, there's so many things. It's just like, what? Like, what do you mean death doesn't exist here? I can't see sun. Like, what do you mean we're taking pictures right after someone just disappeared? It's like, what? No, I'm out of here. Forget this. Oh, and Irving, man. Irving's character, Christian. The character developments. Oof. Oh, my goodness. The 180s. Like, Dylan's so goofy and funny. Like, Dylan cracks you up every now and then. Yeah, Dylan goes through some shit, too. Mark developed.
He's another actor who's... I'm sure he's done a comedy I've seen. I just can't place it.
He's a comedian, I think. Someone told me from work. Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen Dylan from anywhere, but yeah, Dylan, that trio, they're a trio, that quadrant, I guess, the four of them. Nah, Christian, this show, you're in for a freaking treat, man. The way they keep these guys on the leash, like even where Mark lives, like Lumen subsidized that. Just bro, you're under surveillance. You don't even know. Like the block is empty. Only one woman live in the block. Selvig, like bro. Like, my boy's so distorted. Again, you don't know what you're doing in that place. I get that. But my boy is so freaking, like, lonely and struggling and barely hanging on from the death of his wife that he's not even thinking about any of these things that would matter. He's like, I guess it's more quiet. There's no one there. It is what it is. I've been there for a while, though. No one's there except for this weird old lady who's extremely intrusive. Mark, what are you doing now? Oh, Mark, where are you at right now? Oh, you're eating dinner now? Okay. I can come by. It's just like... But again, I mean, you don't know.
Yeah, it also gives off, like, lonely old lady vibes.
Christian, yeah. There's somewhere, Christian, in episode 1 where she told my boy, no, episode 2, when did she bring the cookies? I'm blanking in and out of, where's this? Yes, my late husband is a carpenter. He's gonna build me a house for us to go to heaven, but there's gonna be a small guest house in the back in case I find a new man before I get there. I'm like, chill.
Yeah, that's deep.
I'm like, baby, chill.
That's deep.
Wait, Christian, do you know what she's talking about? She's talking about sex, Christian. She's talking about being with a new man as she's alive. Wait, what do you think she meant? Wait up. What do you think she meant?
Wait, I'm curious. Wait, what do you mean? Because are you talking about like anal?
Wait, no, I'm talking about sex as a whole. As in, my husband is dead. He's a carpenter, was building me a house. But in the house that he's building me, there's a small guest house in the back in case I find a new man before I get to him. To my husband, died too. My husband is dead. So as in like, that was basically an indirect invitation to smash Mark. Well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't take it that way. I was envisioning that, like when the husband is in heaven, he's building them a house to live together. But because he's so in love with her and wants her to be happy, even in his death, that happiness could include her finding somebody else. So it's like, when you get up here to join me, I built a house for us, but I acknowledge that if true happiness for you down there involves somebody else, then yeah, I'll put a little room for him too. That's what I was imagining. I didn't think about
Christian, you know what?
I didn't think about sex.
It's all good. Listen, I have a demented mind. Like everyone's aware of. Well, not everyone. You're aware of this, but it is what it is. Yeah, Homegirl's resignation request got declined. Doing all 3 episodes. I'm like moving back and forth. All right, we gotta end this, right? Because this is going on for a while. But Christian, in the TV, the story: a woman get pregnant less than a month after a company's been severed. Imagine, Christian. Imagine. Yeah. Imagine you're with your girl.
That's what was. Yeah, I didn't get to continue into that thought, but like the fact that this procedure is so popular and so well known that other companies are adopting it, and it's being discussed in debate format on a public platform that resembled MSNBC or whatever. Yeah. So the fact that something like that happened, and yet it's still even being in the discussion of like being legalized. Corruption. I'm curious. I'm curious to know more about the outside world. We've only gotten this little window into this small area where these characters are and the company is, but I want to know what's going on in the rest of the world.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it's a very what's the word? Accurate representation of what goes on in this world. Like we have developers who are like creating buildings on areas that are endangering animals or the environment, that they just bypass those codes. As in, there's a bunch of, like, I'm not shocked that something that controversial, that looks like it's still not fully passed if the country's divided on it, is operating anyway. It's just big money. It's just like, throw some money at someone in Congress or get it passed or bypass some laws. I'm stretching this. This is not what this show's about at all. But I'm just talking about how money talk. So for that reason, although this is something, like Ricken said, morally, ethically, like wrong on so many levels, because you're basically stealing someone's time. Like you're doing things to someone that they're not aware of. Perfect example, Mark gets hit by LER. What did he tell Mark? Oh, while you were carrying some stuff, you hit your head. Here's a gift card to go eat wherever you're gonna go eat. That's like a violation. That's Like you might walk out of there bruised, and they will tell you what they want to tell you because you don't know. The sister mocked that. Oh, you don't know what happened, right? I don't know what happened. Oh yeah, they sent you a card, right? Nothing serious. Yeah, right, nothing serious. Like you're with your girl, she come back home pregnant. She doesn't know. Bro, she doesn't know. There's some stud in the office who's freaking like shagging your wife. But is she cheating? She's really not because it's her any.
I thought about that too. Like, what happens when you're horny in there? Like,
bro,
what goes on?
The way Natalie like dealt with that was just like never challenging the thing, but just nitpicking things that the guy's saying. Homeboy's making clear points in that little segment in television. Like, yeah, so a woman that just got pregnant after a few months. How do you discuss that? That her NZ, and he doesn't know the terms like any, or her worky, and she just zoom in on those words. Oh, see, this condescending verbiage is why people like you. We're like, no, Natalie, the man has a point.
And it's important too, though, that she was a representative of Lumen.
Yes. See how she was able to remain a plum? And yes, how she was also able to shift the conversation at his disrespect of knowing what the company actually does. Instead of addressing, it was such a political response. No, Natalie's a shit. Like she's
that was Natalie on the TV.
That's Natalie. Natalie's the outside representative for Lumen, and she's the conduit from Cobel to the board.
Okay.
It's some crazy shit, man. It's just Christian, you're in for a fucking treat. God, if
How many episodes?
Sever my memory and rewatch this, I think it's like 9 for season 1, and then there's like 10 for season 2. I think it was.
Nice.
And they signed up for season 3. It's some crazy shit. Yeah. Okay. What did we not touch up on these 3 episodes? That I don't. I think we covered the big shit, right? Okay, either we shrink these down to 2 or we keep going with 3 because it's just 3, and we'd get the first one. But
3's pretty good. Maybe, yeah.
Is it? Okay. All right. It's been real. Yep. This. You want to sleep? Do you have something to say for yourself, Christian?
No, I love it. Love it so far. I'm having a blast.
Fucking sick. Okay. All right. It's been real. Bye.
All right. See ya.